Hello there and welcome back. Now in this lecture I'm going to show you how you can design a YouTube channel banner. For that, first of all I want to say I have for you a YouTube channel banner template that you can download. This template is very important. Let me explain it to you real quick. So when you are using a phone to look at a YouTube channel, normally what you see from the banner is just this particular red part. When you're using a computer, you're only seeing until this part. But when you are on a full screen on a TV, normally you see much more than that. But really what we should work on is these parts. For that, I also have went and prompted ChatGPT. By the way, ChatGPT can answer questions and it doesn't answer certain questions. So in this case, I said, design a banner and it just designed it. So, and the prompt for that, I said, design a banner for Tolkien's lore, a YouTube channel banner with some orcs, elves, hobbits, wizards, and Middle Earth in the background. And I think that maybe the Lord of the Rings is, there's a problem with the Lord of the Rings, not as much with the keyword, the other keyword, which is Tolkien. So Tolkien is the creator of the Lord of the Rings. And so basically, I don't think they have a problem using that name. And so here they generated this particular banner for me. So I just asked them to generate a banner and they created a banner, which I will use. So first of all, I got to download this. And so now that they did this, I want to go and show you the answers that we can get from Leonardo AI and from Midjourney. So, but first, for Midjourney and Leonardo, for Midjourney specifically, we need to prompt it differently when it comes to the size, because the size of a YouTube banner is basically, if we look at this image, it's I think it's about 1,000. Now, normally I have to go to size this up at a Canva. So if I go to Canva here, let's size up precisely what the size that we need. If we go here and click on Create a Design, and if you type in on Canva YouTube banner, there it is. It's 2,560 by 1,440, but that's not it because, like I said, this is what we're following. This is our guide. So if I click right here, and if I just drag, not this one, if I just drag my YouTube channel banner template, which I shared with you in the resources of the lecture, just so you know, I need to drag it again because it was not dragged, obviously. Right, there it is. Now I can take it and you can take it as well. So I'm going to basically just spread it across. And if I were to crop from here to here, which by the way, I think we need to zoom into the max so that we don't miss out on any details. Now I just want to hit that red line. And then if I scroll to the top, I'm going to repeat the process as well from the top. So let's just reduce the size of this thing. And let's make sure we hit that. So if I just reduce the size like this, and if I want to know precisely for a fact how much is the size of this thing, I can just take it again from here and just resize it and resize it back. As you can see, there's that little pop that's saying 2,560 by 422. So that is what we should incorporate into Midjourney when we're generating the image, in case you are using Midjourney, which I understand not many people have access to Midjourney. But in this case, I'm going to say imagine, put the prompt in there. And at the end, I'm going to add a comma and then 2 hyphens, AR, space, and 2,560 by 422. And let's just go ahead and click enter. So now let's leave Midjourney doing its thing. And let's go back to Leonardo to test what Leonardo will be capable of doing. Now for Leonardo to be able to generate this for us, we need, and I'm sorry to say, we need to select a different size than the ones that Leonardo was prompted to or was programmed at. But I think I'm going to go with Leonardo Vision XL. And now it's programmed at 1024 by 768. But since we have the width is much bigger than the height, I think I'm going to go, so let's go back here. I think I'm going to try the custom size. Now here, they don't have it for this model, I think. They don't have it for this model. No, they do. There it is. I can go here to the width, 2,560, and to the height, I'm going to make it 422. Now it's not going to be a perfect image. Now the max I think here is 1,563, which means that we need to lower this, but it's okay. I think it's better. Let's just generate and see. Anyways, I think I'm going to go with the DALLE3 one. But have a look at this. This was generated by Midjourney in case you have Midjourney. And as you can see, this is also good, but not to the level of DALLE3. So now, because I'm actually going to use the DALL-E image, I'm going to go here to my template. Now, I would like you to name this. So the name is Ringside Tales, YouTube channel banner, YouTube channel banner. And what we're going to do is basically we're going to drag and drop the DALL-E image. Now, in case you don't have DALL-E, you should be able to use images generated by a Leonardo or another tool. Or, in my opinion, you could just simply use one of these images, or just imagine something from your brain and ask Leonardo to create it. Or you can ask ChatGPT to generate a prompt that you can use to generate an image with Midjourney. That also works like that, or with Leonardo. So here, I'm going to drag. I don't know what's the problem here. I'm dragging images, but they're not getting dragged for some very weird reason. But anyways, now it's working. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually click this image and make it transparent so that we can see through. And what I'm going to do is, to put it simply, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure this is locked so that it doesn't move. No, not this one. Not this one. Sorry. This one is locked. Actually, I'm unlocking it, but I want to click this and lock it. So now this one can move, but the other one can't. So if we take this, we need to make sure that it's on that actually the text should be here. So if you have any text, make sure it's inside of here. Other elements, it's okay if they bleed out. Let's try to make this bigger, just like this, and see how this is going to look. I think just the way it looks is not too bad. So we'll keep it like this. Now, let's move on to add some text. Now, for the text, I would recommend you, if you have a membership with Creative Fabrica, they have this font, which is called the Lord font, or Lord of Fonts, kind of like the Lord of the Rings. Because if you go to these famous YouTube channels, this is the font. These are the fonts they're actually using because they match. And so, because I have a membership of Creative Fabrica that I'm not really using, and I want to make use of it because I'm paying $29.99, and just now I paid $19 because I'm a client for so long, so they gave me a discount. I want to click download, and I want to show you how you can import a font onto Canva and use it. Now, this is the font, which is great. So now we have the font. But if you go to Canva here, they have some fonts. If you go and look for fonts, maybe story kind of fonts, you'll find a lot of fonts. Now, first of all, you have to click text, and you have to select the text, and then you have to click here on the font, and you have to look story something. And I'm sure that you can find some story fonts. Now, these, unfortunately, were all uploaded by me, Bedtime and Old Story Bold, except for this one, Storybook and Storybook Rough and Poor Story. I think those ones you can use. But because I can afford it, I'm just talking for myself, I'm going to use the Lord of the Fonts. And how you install a font, basically you have to open the zip file of the font. And first thing is first, you have to create a file in your computer, a dossier. So I'm going to go to my downloads here. Normally I should be showing you this, but it's okay. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to click new and I'm going to create a file. And this one, I'm going to name it Lord of the Fonts. And in this file, I'm going to go to my zip file that was normally supposed to be opened. Now let me click again. That should do the trick. All right, so now the file is going to get opened. Now when you extract the files from your zip file, make sure that you extract them in the file that we have created right now. Otherwise, they'll be lost. So I have them in my computer, the downloads. If I go to my downloads, not the downloads, I think it's the downloads. If I filter with L, Lord of the Fonts, I can select the file and that's it. And that's the path and click finish. Now we have the font. So how do you install a font on Canva? First of all, make sure you extract the file. The file is going to get opened like this, and we have different files. So for specific files, you may have different types. In this case, we have PDF, we have all kinds. Now, these are letters. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that this is what I'm looking for, actually. If I go to black, let's see. Normally, I don't want it to be in a PDF, but okay, it's okay. So I think this is not how I wanted it to be, but it's okay. Let me click here, go inside. Now, this is not normally what fonts should look like, because fonts, they should be basically nothing more than a font that you can download and you can start using just by typing. But normally what I can see here from this Creative Fabrica thing is that this is not what we're looking for. So this is not what we're looking for. But let me just look here. All right, so I think if that's the case, I'm not going to use this font, because normally, like I said, a font should be a font that I can upload onto Canva and then I can use it. In this case, this is not what I thought it was. So I think they might be outsourcing their font from somewhere else. I wonder. But I'm going to go and just try to be smart here. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write this title, right? Write this title, which is ringside Tales, in the font that looks like the Lord of the Rings golden font that they show at the beginning of the movie when they write the title of the movie. Because at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings, they actually show a title, and it's written in gold. It looks like a golden scripture or sculpture. Okay, so now ChatGPT is creating the image. Now, in your case, if you don't have access to GPT-4, what I would recommend is just use one of these fonts. They're not too bad. So I think story fonts like this, for example, Storybook Rough, and then you can change this to ringside Tales. And there is some adjustments that I can show you how to do. So for instance, I can take this and I can make it bigger like this, ringside Tales, like this, not that big, and put it in the center or something like that. I think it's too big, so let me just reduce it like this. Make sure it's in the center, it's a little bit at the top, and make sure it doesn't go outside of the red area. And then what I would do is I would just take this and I would make it gold, right? So I'd choose a golden color for it. So I would go right here and I would just select this color, make it gold. That's good. And then I would zoom in. Let me show you some magic. So if you click here and if you click duplicate, now we have two. And I'm going to select the second one, make it dark, right? So I'm going to make it pitch black like that. And then I can position it backward and then it's back. And then I can just take this and place it right back. And as you can see, that gives off a vibe like the Lord of the Rings. So now let me go back. Let me click the image and fixate it for a moment, because I want to select these and group them. So now they are one and they can be centered accordingly. And if I go to my uploads here, we have this, the Lord of the Rings logo. I can take that as well, and I can just reduce the size of it. And what I want to do, I want to go here and look for circle frame again, and basically putting it into a circle frame. So just like we did earlier, and then we can just go ahead and make this smaller and maybe place it somewhere around here or somewhere around here, or just, I think it would be good if it's at the bottom. Let me just drag this a little bit to the top and then place this here. Just make it a little bit smaller than that, I think, like that. And I think that this looks pretty decent. In the meantime, let's see ChatGPT's answer. Okay. So ChatGPT responded that it can't, and I respect that. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to do it like this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to ungroup for a moment and click out, then click again, then select this. I'm going to go to effects. I'm going to add a neon effect and make it a little bit more light, add a little bit more light. And I think this will make it look a little bit better, right? Ringside Tales with that shadow, and it looks pretty decent. So right now, I think we can group them back again. All right, so I wanted to use that font, but we can't do only what we can do. So now here, I think we're done. And now I can just click on my image, unlock it, and then basically, let me do one thing. Let me just place it where I want it to be and then position it backward. So now I can select this and unlock it and remove it. And I'm going to click on my image again and basically just increase the transparency of it. And now we have our the Lord of the Rings banner. And if I download, now we are supposed to just go ahead and download it. Now I'm just going to download it as a PNG, no transparent background or anything, just a PNG. Or I think, okay, so let me just go back. I think a transparent background would be better. because on a thumbnail, on a YouTube banner would be better. All right, so now let's download. In the next lecture, what we're going to do, we're going to take these elements and we're going to optimize our YouTube channel. And then we're going to start the process.